little brother. Kasumo and Kamari grew and grew. They spent many happy hours playing in the warm sunshine or sitting on the big log by the side of the house. When they went to the fields with Father and Mother, they learned to set out the little rice plants and to hoe weeds. They learned to gather sticks for the fire. Kasumo was always watchful for danger, lest something should happen to Kamari. Kasumo was a big girl now. She was 7 years old, and Kamari was 5. Soon Kamari would have a birthday. Kasumo hoped they would go to the woods that day, for she could find some flowers for her birthday gift. One morning, Kasumo and Kamari were awakened by the sound of strange voices. Several of the villagers had come to plan a celebration. Something special had happened. A new baby had come to live in the house with them, and it was a boy. Father was happy and Mother was happy, but Kasumo and Kamari felt neglected and lonely. The proud parents tried to find a name for the new boy. He was something special in the house, so he should have a very special name. It was not easy to find a good name for such a wonderful baby boy. "Let's call him Raja," said Father proudly, but Mother put her finger in her mouth and bit it hard to break the spell. "Shh, shh," she warned. "Do not let the spirits hear you say that. If they think we are so proud of him, they may take him away from us. We must think of a name that is not so nice, like Big Red Onion or Bad Rice." "You are right," said Father, looking proudly at the little baby boy sleeping on the mat. "We must not do anything to anger the spirits. I have waited so long for a son. Maybe someday he will grow up to be big and strong like his father." "But what shall we call him? He must have a name." "Perhaps I shall think of a good name before the party," said Mother. We must have a name to tell to the neighbors and the charm doctor. I will think." Kasumo and Kamari played in the sunshine close to the door of their home. Every few minutes they would look in to see their new little baby brother. They were glad that Father had gone to the field for the day, because then they would not feel afraid to look in the house. Mother was kind. She loved her little flower and princess, and now that a brother had come, her love grew to include him too. Mother tried to explain to Kasumo and Kamari that their brother would never take their place in her heart. She would always love them too. "But Father does not," began Kasumo. "Oh, yes, my little flower, Father does love you, but his love is different. He has just been very disappointed when you came because you were not a little baby boy. You must not misjudge your father. If we can only think of a name for little brother that will be just right, Father will be very pleased, I am sure." "It will have to be a small name," said Kasumo, "because he is so tiny. He is only half as big as some babies." "Half as big," repeated Mother, pausing a moment to think. "Adho means half. Now, if the spirits thought that he was only half as big as he should be, they would not take him from us." "Let's call him Adho," said Kasumo. "Yes, we will call him Adho," said Mother with a smile. "Now we have a name for him, and Father will be so glad." Kasumo and Kamari ran outside to play again. They were glad that their little brother had a name. "Adho, little half baby," they said over and over. I wonder if he will ever be big enough to play with us." Many plans were made for the party that father and mother would give in honor of the birth of the boy child. For many days the villagers came bringing gifts to the new baby. There were beans and lentils and rice and curry and strange things in pots and kettles that Kasumo had never seen before. She looked in wonder at the queer contents of some of the kettles. The Salvers had a habit of eating snakes and rats and big red ants. Little Kamari held Kasumo's hand as they walked around looking, but not saying a word to anyone. They sat on the log outside the door and talked in whispers. "I wonder why the drums are beating," said Kamari. "The charm doctor is coming," Kasumo whispered. "Let's hide behind the log. I'm afraid of the charm doctor," said Kamari, pulling Kasumo by the hand. "We will hide here and watch," said Kasumo. "See, there he is, the one with the strange bones and shells and beetles. Look at the marks on his face. I don't like him." The two sisters watched in silence as the musicians made weird music with their drums and coconut shell fiddles and other instruments. The tones were sad, but the villagers seemed to like the music. A fire was kindled in a clearing not far from the house. The people danced in a circle around the fire, tapping their feet and clapping their hands to the beat of the drums. Everybody seemed happy, but Kasumo and Kamari. They held hands and clung to each other in a corner behind the log. They did not like the crowd. They did not like the celebration. They did not even like little Underhill. But father was both proud and happy. He stood up big and tall as he received the congratulations of his friends from the village. He and the charm doctor drank freely of some liquid in a big gourd. It seemed to make them excited. They laughed loudly and told jokes to one another. Kasumo and Kamari were afraid. They dared not join the others at the feast, although they were beginning to feel very hungry. Mother watched father and the charm doctor as they danced around the fire. She did not seem to be pleased, but she didn't say anything. Father was so happy that she had given him a son. But Mother did not forget Little Flower and Princess. Even while the neighbors were dancing around the fire and eating and drinking, she went to find her two little girls, crouched down in a corner behind the log. "I have something for you to eat," she said in a kind voice. "Do not be afraid, my little ones. This party is to show how happy we are that little Underhill has come to live with us. The neighbors are rejoicing with us." Kasumo and Kamari smiled their thanks to Mother through their tears. They ate the food that Mother had brought. They were glad that she had not brought them any red ants to eat. They were glad Mother still loved them, even though they were just girls. When the party was over and the neighbors and the charm doctor had gone, Father and Mother prepared for the night. Kasumo and Kamari lay down upon their mats on the hard floor. They were glad the party was over.